Hello, and welcome to part 2 of our tutorials, where I'm going to kind of continue working on this and show you more functionality that is in Revit. So in part 1, we have finished doing the block out. So this is what I would call a good enough block out for us to start detailing. So we basically have the whole proportion going and everything seems to be in order in this regard. So now what I want to do is I want to focus on, shall we go for doors and windows? Perhaps. Yeah, let's go for doors and windows. So I'll show you different techniques and different ways on how you can create doors and windows in your Revit file. So to begin, let's add a door. Let's add an entrance door to our building. I'll go to ground floor here. And actually, at this stage, I really like splitting this view into two. So here I have my 3D view and my ground floor view, right? These two views. If you don't see a 3D view, just double click here, right? And it will open up the 3D view for you. So we have these two tabs, these two views. And basically what I want to do is I just want to take this 3D view and drag it away, right? Like so. So now it's like a separate window that is not docked anywhere. And then just taking it and dragging it to the side, like so, will eventually show me this, right? This blue rectangle. Once I see this blue rectangle, I will release my mouse button, and then this 3D view gets docked. So now I'm working in two views at the same time, or rather I see two views at the same time, which is super convenient. So let me just cut away that part. So that's my box selection tool. Remember, we are using it. And I'm using it to just cut away the bits that I don't need. I'll maybe even cut deeper into these surrounding buildings, just so that I only see the almost only see my building. Something like that. Okay, so that is now that is not obscured. Okay, so this is our entrance area. Which relates to this wall right here. You can see once I select this wall here, it will show up here, get highlighted here as well. And here I just want to add a door. So how do you do that? Well, you select the door tool. Well, I zoomed in, so now we wait. There we go. I click on the door tool, and here, before I start adding it, it will ask me for what kind of door do I want. So this is a single flush door, 2.1 meters high, 0.9 meters, 90 centimeters wide. This is like a typical door. And actually there's not a lot of options here to choose from. So I will be choosing the default, the regular doorway. I think that's absolutely fine. And I'll just add it. Do we center it? Nah. Probably just do it like that. Bam. So I have just added the door, and let's say I want later down the line I will want to add a shelf here, or I will want to have a possibility to add a shelf here. So we know that the shelf width is 60 centimeters. So the way I do it is I will just let me just see if I can. Hello? I zoomed in too much again. Just give me a second. Not me, give Revit a second to catch up. There we go. Oh my God. It's quite a slow program. Ain't gonna lie. Not responding, huh? Well, that calls for a coffee break. Zoom out. There we go. And I'll just click on modify here, this modify button. There we go. I will select the door, and now I can, here, this dimension, I can write rather, what kind of dimension I want. Instead of 0, instead of the door being flush with this wall, I can add 600 millimeters. Enter. That is wrong. Minus 600. That is correct. So the correct way as well, of course. And thus we now have this gap here where we will be able to put a shelf or a seating area, anything like that. Usually I do this for a rack, for clothes rack for the entrance. So that's how we add a door. That's basically it, right? You just kind of do it. You just add a door. Another thing is adding a window. So while we're still here in our entrance, I will be adding a window here in this area. So it's done in exactly the same way as the door. I'll select the window tool, and I will choose what kind of window I want. I think I'll just go for the default one because these guys have too many subdivisions. I don't want that many subdivisions. So I'll just use the regular one, and I'll choose this the type of it. So let's say that's 90 centimeters by 1.8 meters. I think that's gonna be okay. Or let's do 40 centimeters by 1.8 meters. I think that's gonna be cooler, like that. And here I can specify how high the window is going to be, right? So that's before me clicking on the wall. I can specify how high this window can be, or I can do that later down the line. That's fine as well. So let me just put it in, probably maybe closer to the door. There we go, something like that. So I constantly check the dimensions to see if they are correct, and 300 mil I think is fine. So we end up with having the door and this kind of a narrow window inserted. Let me click on the modify tool again, select the window, and see what we can change with it. So the first thing is sill height, and the second thing is head height, right? So in terms of sill height, I can say, well, what if it's 500 millimeters? Hit apply. See, the window just moves up, and then the head height updates as well. So now let's say I want the window to be aligned, the height, the top of the window rather, to be aligned with the door. The way I do it is I will just select the door and just double check. So the head height of the door is 2.134 meters. So if I select the window, and here for the head height, I type in 2134, hit apply. Ah, yes, of course. It gets aligned. It does get aligned with the door, but I forgot the, how is that called? The framing of the door. And I assume the framing of the door is like, that looks like 5 or maybe 10 centimeters. No, that's definitely not 10. So that looks like a 5 centimeter framing. So I will just add 5 centimeters to this head height, which is going to be a total of 2184 millimeters. And that looks right, I think. Maybe not. Yeah, we're 1 centimeter away. 2194. I could just, yeah, probably I should do this. I could just kind of select the door, right? And go to edit type and find the trim extension here. So apparently trim width is set to be 76 millimeters. So I will just change it to 50. Hit apply. So now it is indeed 5 centimeters. And now if I change this back to 2184, apply, There we go. Now they are aligned. So it's a little bit fiddly. Edit type lets you edit the type of the door itself. So you can make adjustments to how the door looks like. Same thing for the window. Right. So we have that done now. Nothing too fancy, but you know, it is working. So that's good. And that's what the. Well, we will visit that part. No, never mind. That's the surrounding building, so that's not an issue. So that's basically how you add doors and windows, right? Nothing too fancy. By the way, if you want to change the type of a window once you have inserted it, you can. Same thing for the door. So you just select the window, you go to the properties tab, and you just choose a different type, right? Bam. It changes. And now we need to fish out which one. Yeah, it was this one. Good. So that is that. In terms of, let me do it again for the other side, just so that we are on the same page and everyone is following along. Or rather, maybe I want this to be full glass. Right? This whole area, perhaps I want it to be full glass. I can do that by first carving out a hole in the wall and then adding what's called a curtain wall inside of that opening. So to do an opening, to create an opening, you can either create a vertical or a horizontal opening, and the vertical opening is just called a wall opening, nothing fancy, and the horizontal one, or rather maybe I should call this the vertical one. So the shaft is a vertical opening while the wall opening is a horizontal, right? So yeah, again, the shaft is you carve away from what's called floor slabs and ceilings and roofs. With wall opening, you carve away from the wall. So I will just select that tool, which will basically ask me to, what does it ask me? Cuts a rectangular opening in a straight or curved wall. So for that, I probably need to do it in 3D, right? Or maybe we can do it in 2D. Let's see. Click, no, click, yes. Oh, okay. So it's basically 2 clicks. Let me do that again because this was a bit dodgy. Wall opening, click, click, click. There we go. So you select the wall and then you say from where do you start the opening and where do you end. So here it's a little bit wonky. You can see how what kind of hole it made, but we can make a bunch of adjustments later. That's going to be easy to do. And that later is now, actually. So let me click on Modify. And here you can see that I can select the opening, the shaft. I can indeed select it. And I can change its measurements, right? So here I want a precise measurement of 3 meters. Let's see if that's gonna work. Yeah, it is gonna work. And I want it to be centered, right? So that's 103 and that's 97. That doesn't work. I'll just do 100 by 100, right? So 3 meters, 10 centimeters, 10 centimeters. So we have this, this opening here. And the height of it, right? I can change the height of it as well. So first things first, let's check the bottom. So the bottom here, the base offset is minus 19.2. For some reason, I don't want that. I will just say base offset is 0. Hit apply. So it gets moved up a bit. And then the top offset, so that is from the first floor level. You can see that top constraint is set to be up to level 3,500. right? So it's from this level here. It's being moved down by 1 meter 8 centimeters, right? Which is a very weird offset. So actually for this kind of window, I will say minus 500 mil. I think that's going to be okay. So it gets moved closer. There we go. So we have our opening here, which is ready to accept, or now we are ready to put in curtain wall inside of it. The way we do it is we just create a wall. We start creating a wall, and in the properties, you scroll down until you see curtain wall option, right? And here there's like exterior glazing, storefront, curtain wall. So we will just be creating a regular curtain wall, like that. And we will say that wall goes along the center line, that's fine. Yeah, all of that seems okay. Let's just start drawing it and see what happens, right? So this is the default settings. Top constraint, unconnected, that's fine. And let me just try and draw it through the middle point of this wall, from here to here. There we go. Okay, so that is done. It's basically, it just created a single glass panel right now. And you can see that that panel doesn't even reach the top. So we need to somehow be able to reach, apologies, we need to reach the top of this hole. And the way we do it, I believe, is by just, no, we can't. Well, technically we can, by just saying that it needs to be up to the first floor level, right? But the top offset needs to be the same as the top offset of our hole, which we used 500 millimeters for, right? So it goes up to level 1, and the top offset is minus 500 millimeters. Hit apply. It didn't change. Why didn't it change? That's because we are still in place wall tool and not edit wall tool. That's my bad. Sorry about that. So we actually need to escape out completely. So hit escape until you don't have any tools running. We need to do that. And then we select this glazing wall. How is it called? Curtain wall. Sorry, this curtain wall. We select it, and then here we can change the settings. So that was my bad. Before I was changing the settings for the next curtain wall that I'm going to be creating. So top constraint from unconnected, I changed this to first floor, and top offset, I changed this to minus 500. And now it should be good to go. There we go. So now it's all tied up. Okay. So we have our single glass piece here, which is not, you know, it's okay, but it's maybe not something that we necessarily want. Perhaps we want to have a little bit more divisions and so on. Of course, is it possible to make it like that? Technically, yes, but this would cost more than the rest of the building. So instead, let's add a few divisions. So I am going to escape out of all of the tools. And here in the architecture tab, I'll find curtain grid tool. So this is going to be, well, actually, once I hover my mouse over it, it shows what it does. It's going to separate the glass panels into smaller panels, right, with a grid. So curtain grid, select that. And here in the plan view, I am just going to kind of divide it up. And I'm thinking of perhaps we can do 1 meter here and 1 meter here, right? So 2 divisions, right? Every 1 meter, like that. And then in the, let me jump in here, in the perspective view, I will say that at 2.2 meters, I also need a division. This kind of indicates that I will have the centerpiece as a doorway. I'm able to use it as a doorway, and the doorway is not going to be like 3 meters high, which reduces the costs dramatically. So once you're done that, escape, hit escape a bunch of times. Once you've done that, you are able to, well, you will see that the glass has been separated into parts, but there is no framing yet. So we need to add the frames. And the way you add frames is by creating mullions. So frames are called mullions, right? I will select that tool, mullion, like that. And it's going to say, first of all, what kind of mullion do we want, right? It's going to ask in the properties, what kind of mullion do we want? And there's like a bunch of different options. 50 by 150 mil is a pretty intense one. I want a little bit thinner one, so I'll just use the 30 millimeter square mullion. So that's a cross section. It's like 3 by 3 centimeters. It's super thin. It's unrealistically thin, but I think that's fine. Can we edit type of it? Yeah, we can even edit type and we can add any thickness we want, but I will stick to the default one. That's fine. So we have our mullions, and then here it asks me to select grid lines, right? So I can either select grid lines one by one, and these divisions are grid lines. They are called grid lines. I can select them one by one, or I can select all of them at the same time. So I'm thinking of just going to town and just selecting all of them and clicking. So I just selected that tool and clicked on the grid lines, and now the framing has been placed, and you can see it here as well, right? Those black dots, that's the framing. Perhaps let me undo, Control Z, and instead let me actually use the bigger one, just so that you can see better these divisions. So again, I selected the 50 by 150 mil, all grid lines, select, bam, big boys, right? Okay, so we have our curtain wall here set up. You can do the same thing for multiple floors as well. That's fine. You just make a larger shaft. Actually, maybe I should show you how to do it. Do I show you here or here? Maybe here. Let's do a glass facade, right? In the front of the building. So I will go to my sorry, now I'm just starting to design it. I'm trying to figure out a nice design for this. So let's say in our first floor, that's the wrong side. And now we need to wait for it to load up. So first floor loaded up on the right hand side. No, I want it here. So in our first floor, I will also create a shaft opening. So sorry, a wall opening like that. And I will create one from on this wall, from here to here, something like that. But this one, actually, I want to be a little bit less wide. So I'll just say something like this, perhaps. So let's go for 1.5 meters. That's 1.5 millimeters. That's my bad. I keep forgetting that I'm drawing everything in millimeters here. Usually in Rhino, I do block outs in meters and then switch to millimeters once I do detailed project. 1500, right? And this dimension needs to be 0. Can't keep elements joined. That's fine. I will just say unjoin elements. But then it makes that mistake, huh? So this is where it starts becoming a little bit just your regular Revit things, right? Let me undo. And here, instead of 0, oops. Here, instead of, in this case, instead of 300 millimeters, let me write 500, something like that. So we have a 20 centimeter gap here. I think that's fine. Let me, while I'm at it, let me make another shaft here. From here, let's see, can I type in 500? Oof, oof, oof. Yes, I can, but it lags. So this is another way of how I'm creating shafts. So while I'm still in shaft creation tool, I am able to kind of continue adding shafts to this, but it's not being cooperative at all. Ooh, that's my bad. So I forgot that I'm creating a wall opening and not a shaft. So I accidentally cut away from the floors, not from the wall. Oopsie. Control Z. Disregard. Yes. Save the project, sure. Okay, we're back. Sorry. Let me just create a wall opening, not a shaft opening. I will show you how to create a shaft opening in just a second, but now we are just creating wall openings like that. Modify, select this, and here we just start typing in the dimensions. So this one is going to be like 600 mil, and it's going to be, let's say, or actually here, this dimension is going to be 200 mil away, something like that. Yeah, I think that's gonna look okay. And now it's just the height, right? I need to I need to fix the height of it. So I'm just going to select the first shaft opening, and I'm going to say that the top constraint of it is up to the 3rd floor, like that. And the top offset is, let's go for 0. Hit apply. Doesn't cut, huh? That's weird. I wonder why. Perhaps it's because I made it in... Wait. Yeah, that's understood. That's because these are 2 separate walls, right? And this guy, this shaft opening can only cut through the one. So, but that's not a problem. I will just move it down, and I will say that the constraint is the 2nd floor. Top offset is 0. Apply. Hit apply. Same thing for this one. Not for this one. For this one, top offset 0. Apply. There we go. And now we just need these 2 shaft openings to go to the 2nd floor as well. So I'm just going to do it manually, real fast. So let me jump to the 2nd floor. That's 20, that's 20, that's 60. Don't remember this one, but we'll figure it out. Should be good. So let me just drag this one in here, 2nd floor. There we go. And I'll do this as fast as I can once this stops lagging. Wall opening on this wall from here to here, from here to here. Okay, we have 2 wall openings. This one is 200 mil. This one is probably 1500. Oh, so that then it changes this 200, And this one, I don't know. I don't know this dimension, but that's fine because we will get it by changing this. So this one is 600, that is 200, and then automatically that dimension kind of locks in place in being 700. So now we have one more shaft. That's great. And all we need to do is just say that top offset of it is 0, like that. And that top offset is 0 as well. Apply. Why is this higher than... Oh, this one is also that. So, sorry, we need to move it down a bit because we are going into the floor slab. So the floor slab is 150 millimeters wide or thick. So the top offset actually needs to be minus 150. Apply. So that we're not going into the floor slab. This one, come on, just let me, there we go. Minus 150. Okay, so here we have our shaft openings, and I'm just going to jump back into first floor, where I'm just going to create the curtain wall again, architectural curtain wall from here to here, and then from here to here. Right? So we have our walls. Modify. So sometimes it creates a wall inwards inside, like in the wrong direction. So the way you fix it is by, you don't really see it on the screen, but there are two arrows here which let you change the orientation of the wall, right? So you can switch them up. So I'll do that. I will switch the orientation of these walls. Then I just need to, for the first one, I will just go to top constraint and say that actually it's to the third floor, not the second floor. And the top offset is actually minus 150 due to the thickness of the floor slab. Same thing for here. Top offset minus 150 up to level 3. Apply. There we go. So we have our two curtain walls set up. Now all I need to do is just add a grid again to them. So here I'll just add one division, one vertical division. Here I don't need to add any vertical divisions, right? And then I'll jump into 3D, and just hovering my mouse over the vertical edge of the curtain wall, I am able to add horizontal divisions. So I'll probably add a division here, 1500, here, 1500, and it doesn't really let me add 1500 here, but this seems okay. And then same thing here, 1500, 1500, bam, 1500, or 1425, that's fine. So we have our grids set up. And then I'll go to Modify tab, I'll click on the Modify button. I'll click on Mullion and do the same thing. You know, rectangular mullion, all grid lines. I'll choose the button that says all grid lines and say that all of these need rectangular mullions, right? And these also need rectangular mullions. So now all of this is kind of done, it's kind of set up, right? We have our facade done. Last thing that I want to do, I will not be messing around with the backside. Backside would also probably, I would add a curtain grid of some sorts. I will instead just add a doorway and a window here in the top. So let me go to the, let's go here, let me go to the third floor. Whew. Come on, load up. There we go. Third floor. Bam, bam, bam. Still loading. There we go. Door, regular door. Just add it. Probably 600 mil again, something like that. So we have our door, and then click on modify, window, add a window, also like a narrow window, 300 millimeters away from the door, like that. What the hell was, well, it worked out. So the window is slightly too low. We will fix that by just adjusting the head height. 2135 for this window is actually, it needs to be 2185. That's what we remember from our previous insertion of this window. That's it, right? That's it. We have some sort of a facade. It's not the greatest, for sure, but you know, it's okay. It's good enough to show you the tools. So that is that. Now let's look at how can we add in doorways inside of the building. Not doorways, walls and stairs inside of the building. So I'll go back to ground floor and I'll add a staircase first. So that's the first thing that I'm going to do, is add a staircase. So this is going to be a little bit more tricky. Not necessarily tricky, but I will go to the architecture tab and I'll choose stair here. And here is the stair creation tool, right? So I am able to either create a straight staircase, which is just straight up that. And by the way, given the height of each step and so on, and the width of each step, it automatically knows how long the staircase is going to be. And here our this is our settings, right? So right now, desired number of steps is 19. So this is how many steps we want. And actual tread depth is 25. So it's only 25 centimeters? Really? Maybe that's fine. I like doing 28 centimeters for the treads, but this is a pretty small house, so 25 is okay. And then it automatically calculates what's going to be the riser height. So that's that's 18 centimeters, which is fine. 18 is okay. So usually it's 17.5, but again, this is a small house. So when we just do regular straight staircase, it's pretty straightforward, right? We just, I can say run is, location of the line is on the left-hand side of the run. And I can just, oops, not the left-hand side, right-hand side. Run right from here to here, bam. That's it, that's a staircase. I can even show it to you here. No, I can't. I need a section to be able to show you. Can we do a section? No, we can't while we are running the staircase, the stair tool. So let me open up the building a bit so that you can see better what's going on. So again, stair, cancel, ground floor. So notice how that menu popped up. That was because I was in 3D view. Instead, I will create a ground floor, the staircase in ground floor view. So then it won't even ask me any questions. So stair from here to run on the right from here to here, bam. Just creates a staircase. So there's no opening and so on, but that's fine. That's something that we will easily easily fix. Okay, so that is a very simple staircase without any risers, without any landings, without anything like that. So let me delete it. And instead, let's see other variations of the staircase that we can do. We can do full step spiral. So that was the straight staircase. We can do full step spiral, which is basically just, and there we go. There it fits, right? So it just generates a spiral staircase. Nothing fancy about it. Not really sure how it can be used in this particular project because it eats up so much space, but it is there. Then you have center end spiral, which is basically you describe the center point, and then you describe the end point, and you can do, you do the spiral staircase, so it looks the same. But if I were to repeat it, and if I were to say something like this, and then repeat it again, oh my God, this is annoying. Let's just do it this way. Repeat it again and see something like this. Bam. Or fine. Oh my God. I can't fit it properly, so I'm struggling with it. Let's try it again. That's going to be our center point, and we will start from here, half a turn like that, and then this is going to be our center point. We will start from here and another half a turn. So it's going to make this kind of a staircase, which yep, it is how it is. It looks how it looks, I know, but let me just delete it so that you don't need to look at it. Automatic line, blah, 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 whatever. Okay. So then we have L form staircase, which is quite convenient, but it's basically just drag and drop. And then once you dragged and dropped it, you will need to align it with the walls, of course. So to align, you can either rotate it. So you select the tool, the thing, and you rotate it. Like that, right? That's super simple. Or there is an option for aligning. Align. So it's going to ask you to give it a reference line. So let's say this line, and it's going to ask you to give it a alignment line. So this line here, let's say, or that. Yeah, there we go. So first it's the alignment line, and then there is the reference line, and it's just going to snap to place. Also kind of useful, especially in these kind of houses, because then you can move below the staircase. So that might be something that you would like to look into. Last one that I'm going to cover is the U-shape winder, I guess. So it's basically this kind of staircase, right? Again, this one is just drag and drop. And again, I will just use align tool, click, click to just snap it to place. Easy. Right. So that's the staircases, the default staircases rather. So then you have the possibility to make your own, well, not make your own, but draw your own staircase, which I really enjoy. So you can create runs, landings, and support systems, which we don't care about. So run is basically, let's say I want my first run to be only 2 meters long, and I want my second run to be, let's say it starts from here and goes on the left hand side and goes until, let's say, only for a meter, like that. And then I have my third run, which is on the right. So you keep switching between left, right, blah, 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 to goes like so. It's no problem. It's going to do it, right? It's not going to be tricky at all. It's going to automatically connect the staircases with the runs. Sometimes it doesn't. So if it doesn't, let's see if there is a disconnect between this. Let me show you here in 3D as well. If there is a disconnect between this run and this run, right, I can draw a landing either by hand or by specifying that, yo, please connect this, this, and this, right? So just click, and it will connect them with a run. Or if I want a fancy, some sort of fancy shape for my landing, then I can create a sketch, and then just draw it out. So I will just say, bam, bam. I want my landing to be a beautiful little form like this. Come on, snap. There we go. Bam. Just make sure that it's a closed polyline. Hit apply. Bam. That's your landing, and right now it's not tied to your stairs, so you would need to actually change the relative height of it so that it is indeed tied with the steps. So you can do that by calculating the height of each step and kind of getting the correct value for it. I think, like, let's say 2500 here, apply. Yeah, that's close enough. That's close enough. So you end up with this kind of a weird run where it does make mistakes here. It doesn't fill it in or anything like that, but it is a possibility. Let me delete that. Yeah, that's about it in terms of stairs. So let me just create a super simple one right now. Just a straight staircase. And here, when I'm going to be creating it, I'll just go through the settings. And here I kind of want to do, let's see what kind of monolithic staircase. How does that look like? Bam. Yeah, so I do like the monolithic staircase type because it's super simple, right? It does exactly what I want it to do. It's a super simple staircase. So let's do it. And I'll just do a straight line for it. So let's say a person walks in, hangs his or her coat, and then there's a staircase waiting for them on this side. So I just want to give them like 1.5, let's say, meters of space to move. 1.5. There we go. Space to move along, so that there's like there's no awkward moments here. The width of the staircase is 1 meter. I can change it here if I want to, but I think for something like this, 1 meter is okay. There's no railing, but you can add railing to the staircase by just clicking this button, railing, where you kind of choose what kind of type of railing you want. I don't know, what's default? Let's see. Bam. Hello? Railing? That's weird. Let me just accept this. Ah, okay, so it did create railing once I have accepted the staircase. So this kind of railing is super ugly and I don't like it. So if you don't want the railing, you can always delete it straight up. Just delete it. That fixes your problem of not having a nice railing. But now you have another problem, which is people falling down your stairs. So to fix it, let's say I will just make a wall here, right? For the staircase. I'll just make a wall. I'll just put it in the wall. The gallery owner needs a wall either way, so might as well do it for them. So I will create a wall, and it's not going to be a curtain wall. It's going to be an interior wall. 138 millimeters seems fine. That's a partitioning wall, and just create one here. That is not going to be a center line. I can't have it as a center line. Finish face exterior probably. Nope, I was wrong. Finish face interior, like that. So you always kind of mess around with the alignment of the walls. So I think that and then that should be a-okay. Enter. So we have this kind of a weird, awkward interior wall here, but we will fix it by just selecting it, holding down the Control key, selecting both of them, and then just saying top constraint is up to the first floor and top offset is minus 150. The reason why it's minus 150 is because of the thickness of the floor slab. Okay, great. Now we have now we have some walls here, and I will probably just add architecture door just because I want to. I'll just add a door here like that, because you kind of want to use up the space below the staircase for storage. So we have that, and that is good enough for paintings to hang, and you kind of just you're not losing surface area for the gallery. Right? That's the key, I guess. Okay. So now, one last thing, just one last thing is that the staircases, they don't go anywhere, right? Once they reach the second floor, you just bump your head, or the first floor, you just bump your head. We need to make a hole in the first floor to let the staircase in. And to do that, I will just go to first floor, right here. I can see that the staircase ends here. That's perfect. And I will create a shaft opening. So I can either create a shaft opening or I can change the boundary of the floor itself. Let me show you both variations on how to do it. So let's say the first variation is changing the boundary of the floor, right? So actually changing it in the section. Sometimes it's kind of hard to select the floor slab. So I'll just do it in 3D view, selecting the floor slab there, and then continue working in the plan view. So we are going to change the boundary of this floor slab. So if I click on Edit Boundary right here, I can draw lines. So the pink line here is the boundary of our floor. But if I, let's say, take, let's go for a circle tool, and just draw out a circle right in the middle of the boundary and hit accept. This is well, what's going to happen, right? It's going to make a hole of that circle. So let me come back here, or rather undo, Control Z, and Control Z once more to undo the circle. And instead, let me draw out the opening for the staircase. So this is 3.5 meters, right? The ceiling height is 3.5 meters. So that means if we kind of climb up to the half of the stairs, it's 1.75 meters of clearance. So that's not good. That means we need at least 3 more steps for the clearance to be okay, so that we don't bump our heads. So I'm guessing if this is the middle, if this line, if it's the middle of the staircase, I'm guessing up until here we need an opening. So let me just, and that's good that we have an arrow just kind of showing us that. So let me just grab a line tool and just draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just kind of clicking 5 times to draw this rectangle, hitting accept. Would you like walls that go up to this floor level to attach to its bottom? Would you like walls that go up to this floor's level to attach to its bottom? Nah, don't attach. Don't care. Don't care. And yeah, we have our opening now, right? With our steps. There is a little bit of a gap there. Why is there a gap there? That's because of the discrepancy of the riser height. So it couldn't fit perfectly, but, or maybe it could. No, it could, because this height is the same as this height. Okay, so that's, sorry, that was my bad. It's all good. It's all good. So we have an opening for our staircase. The problem now is, and you kind of continue working on it. The problem now is that you can fall down here, right, into this hole. So we need to build up some walls. Yeah, sure. Save project. Always save your projects, by the way. So we need to build up some walls from here to here to maybe here. Like that, enter, and then I'm just going to modify, select these 2 walls, holding down the Control key, and say that it's actually connected to the 2nd floor, and the top offset is again -150. Apply. Perfect. So now, if I make a section through the steps, I can see how exactly this whole thing works, right? So we're making progress, right? So we can access the 1st floor, and now we have access to the 2nd floor. And then, of course, you would need to figure out a way of how to access the 3rd floor and all of that good stuff. It would probably be some sort of a... Actually, let me just show you, just so that you get a sense of how I'm thinking when I'm doing these things. So you arrive here, right? That's your arrival point in the 2nd floor, in the 1st floor, sorry, from the ground floor. So that's your arrival point, and then you choose to either go up again or to go into this space, right? So that means it makes sense to have a staircase winding around here, right? Doing a U-shape wind here. So I'll create a stair, cast in place stair, monolithic stair, that's perfect. And I will give it a first run after 1 meter. I'll give it a first run of 4 steps right here. So there is like a gap right here. Then I will give it 4 more steps here. Fail to generate automatic landing layout, that's fine. We'll just move these steps away a little bit and it will generate the landing. And then the rest is going to be generated here. Can't make stairs. Why? Cancel. Cool. Welcome to Revit. Okay, we try again. Steps. This time, let's say only 3 steps here. 2, 3. No, a bit closer. 3 steps here. Then 4 steps here. And then the remaining ones are here. Can't make stairs. Why? Why are you complaining about this? Cancel. Okay, let me not snap to this edge here. Maybe it doesn't like it, and instead snap to, like, align it with these steps here, like that. Maybe that's good. Yeah, okay, so that works. Just try until it works. That's the answer. Yeah, and that is basically it. Then I just hit accept, like finish editing. Bam, it creates these railings, which we just get rid of, like that. And now we have our steps to the second floor. And the second floor also doesn't have a hole in it, right? So we need to create a hole for the second floor. To do that, I will actually show you the other way of how to do it with the shaft. So I will go to my second floor. That's great. That's where the steps are. And I will create a shaft opening. So I clicked on the shaft option there. And the shaft opening basically just asks me to draw a boundary line again. So I'm just drawing a line. Probably something like that. Yeah, let's YOLO it. Something like that. Accept. Bam. We have our opening, and yep, the shaft just ate up the floor above as well. So we need to change the height of the shaft. And the cool thing about it is that with the shaft tool, you can just kind of go to 3D and just drag it down, you know, so that it doesn't reach that floor, and you're good to go. So you just kind of drag down the top face of the shaft. That's it about, and of course you would need to add the walls there and then so on, and kind of mess around with the railing here. Perhaps I shouldn't have deleted the railing there, but who cares? Right. So we covered walls, we covered glazing, curtain systems, curtain panels. We covered doors, windows. Columns are boring. Architectural column, you can just kind of place a column anywhere you want. Bam, there's a column. For some reason there's 2. Never mind, there's only 1. So you can place columns, but I don't think you will need any columns in this kind of a building. You have ceilings. We don't care about ceilings, floors. Okay, we have done all of this. All of this. Grid is done. Super. Okay, we are done with this part of the tutorial. Next time, I will show you how to actually get drawings out. You know, it's going to be the final tutorial, so everything that I've missed, I will show you how to do it. How do I say it? Get to work? Get to work. See ya.